Welcome to Outside Views. Today we're diving into one of the hottest topics in the UK right now, the Labour government's sudden change in stance on the planned wealth tax for wealthy foreigners. If you've been following this issue, you know that Labour came into power with a promise to tax the rich more fairly and ensure that everyone contributes their fair share to the public purse. But just this month, it seems they are starting to reconsider. So let's break down what's happening and why this U-turn might be more complicated than it looks. The original plan was quite straightforward. Labour wanted to cash in on the so-called non-dom tax status. For over 200 years, wealthy individuals living in the UK but officially having their tax residence abroad, known as non-doms, have enjoyed a rather generous tax exemption. They didn't have to pay UK taxes on their foreign income for up to 15 years, and the system has allowed many wealthy foreigners to benefit from all the advantages of living in Britain without paying the kind of taxes most residents do. People like Akshata Murthy, the Indian wife of former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, have made use of this status to protect their wealth. But with a growing financial gap in the UK's budget, £22 billion this year to be precise, the Labour government wanted to close these loopholes. And the message was clear: those with the broadest shoulders should bear the heaviest burden. And Prime Minister Keir Starmer reiterated this at the Labour Party conference, emphasizing the need for the wealthiest to contribute more to help rebuild the country's finances. However, what seemed like a clear path forward is now facing some serious pushback. Reports coming out this month suggest that Labour is preparing to soften the financial impact of these changes. While they still plan to limit the benefits of the non-dom tax status, they are also trying to prevent a mass exodus of wealthy individuals. This shift in strategy highlights a dilemma facing many governments worldwide. How do you tax the rich more without driving them away? And the risk here is very real. According to Arun Advani, a tax expert at the University of Warwick, this isn't just about Russian oligarchs, it's also about European bankers and Indian tax specialists, the kind of people who are crucial for Britain's economy. If they leave, it's not just tax revenue that Britain loses, it's talent, investment and influence. And the government is walking a tightrope between ensuring fairness in taxation and maintaining the UK's attractiveness as a hub for international wealth. Labour initially proposed shortening the non-dom exemption from 15 years to 4 years. And they were also looking at new inheritance taxes on foreign assets held in trusts, as well as the possibility of an exit tax on capital gains for those who decide to leave the country. The Resolution Foundation, a think tank close to the governing party, has suggested that non-doms who have lived in the UK for 10 or more years should pay inheritance tax even if they leave. And these proposals were expected to generate an additional £1 billion in the first year alone. But now the government appears to be scaling back, and it's not hard to see why. People like Christian Angermayer, a German tech investor who recently moved to Lugano in Switzerland, are vocal about their dissatisfaction. He claims that many of his peers have already left or are planning to leave the UK. He believes that these tax changes are a mistake, one that could hurt Britain more than even Brexit. It's a stark warning, and it's not the only one. A recent survey by Oxford Economics found that about 2/3 of non-doms would consider leaving the UK if the government's tax plans are implemented. And the concern is that Britain might not just lose those wealthy individuals, it could lose its edge as a destination for international investment. Italy, for instance, is actively courting these individuals, offering a flat tax of €200,000 to protect their foreign assets. And countries like Italy are making it easier for wealthy foreigners to feel welcome, just as the UK seems to be making it harder. In fact, Hanley and Partners, a consultancy that deals with citizenship planning, predicted that Britain could lose around 9,500 millionaires this year. That's twice as many as last year. And if these predictions come true, it would be a significant blow to Britain's economy. It's not just about losing direct tax contributions. The British Treasury currently brings in around £6.5 billion annually from non-doms who pay a flat fee of up to £60,000 per year. If these individuals leave, that income disappears. And according to Oxford Economics, in the worst-case scenario, the tax plans could lead to a net loss of £900 million per year instead of the gain Labour was hoping for. And this is why the Ministry of Finance is reconsidering their approach. Government representatives have emphasized that their decisions are pragmatic, not ideological. And the reality is that if taxing the wealthy leads them to leave, the country ends up worse off. Nimesh Shah, a tax consultant at Blick Rotenberg in London, confirmed that the risk of tax evasion is substantial. His international clients are already making plans to leave, particularly due to the proposed inheritance tax. It's a situation that could lead to a domino effect. If a few high-profile non-doms leave, others are likely to follow. And if that happens, London could lose much of what makes it an attractive financial hub. And Leslie McLeod Miller, head of the lobby group Foreign Investors for Britain, pointed out that other countries are already taking advantage of the UK's uncertainty. She specifically mentioned Italy as a prime example of a country that's benefiting from Britain's current predicament. And Business Minister Jonathan Reynolds, however, remains optimistic. He believes the concerns are exaggerated and that Labour's policies will ultimately improve the economic climate there. He pointed to the upcoming Investors Summit on October 14th as an opportunity to reassure international investors. The government wants to showcase Britain as a place worth investing in, despite the changes. But the challenge is clear. Labour has promised better public services and solid public finances, all in the same breath. And they intend to achieve this through economic growth. And Starmer's vision is ambitious. He believes that by growing the economy, he can deliver on both fronts. But even Tony Blair, a former Labour Prime Minister, has warned that future growth will primarily come from new technologies like artificial intelligence, and taxing the very entrepreneurs who could bring that growth may be counterproductive. And Labour's proposed changes aren't just about raising money. They are about creating a fairer society. But fairness is a complex issue when it comes to taxation. The risk is that the government's well-intentioned efforts could backfire. If Britain loses its wealthiest residents, the country could end up with fewer resources and not more. And Starmer and Reeves are hoping to strike a balance that allows them to maintain the UK's competitive edge while also ensuring that the wealthiest contribute more. But whether they can walk this tightrope, and that successfully, that remains to be seen. The international investment community is watching closely, and the next few months will be crucial in determining whether Labour's plans succeed or fail. And the fear is that by trying to close loopholes, the government may inadvertently open the door for the rich to walk away entirely. What happens next could shape Britain's economy for a generation. Will the rich stay and contribute to the rebuilding of the nation, or will they leave, taking their wealth with them? The acid test will come soon enough, and with the Investors Summit on October 14th and the budget announcement on October 30th. And these events will be a litmus test for the Labour government's ability to navigate these choppy waters. And it will also be a defining moment for Britain as it tries to balance fairness, growth, and its status as a global financial hub. That's all for today on Outside Views. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments what you think about Labour's plans. Are they doing the right thing, or are they risking too much? Until next time, stay informed, and the next video is right here in the end screen.